Assalamualaikum dear students, this is Department of English, Government Postgraduate College Attock. This is our fifth lecture in the series of lectures that we have on some basic concepts of language. Today we will discuss the fourth kind of present time. In my first lecture, I described that how verb is basically an action, and this action is always timed, and this timed action constitutes a tense. In order to understand the concept of how language is used in our day, when we are talking, we are always talking in relation to time, and this concept of time in relation to verb must be grasped, must be understood in order to convey your message properly. In the first lecture related with the four ways to represent the present time, I focused my attention on the first kind of present. The first kind of present is a present in which the action, it moves from point A to point B and it repeats itself. It is as if that the action, it moves from point A to point B and then repeats it, just like the movement of a pendulum. It repeats between two given points, and I told you that how this routine, it is expressed in our works that fill up our day, and these repetitive actions are expressed through this first way of representing present. In my second lecture, I focused on another form of action in which in the present time the action continues. It is related with continuity. That is, in this, the action started in the present, and at the moment we are talking about it, it still continues. It has not come to an end yet. And the third kind of present was when when the action, it starts in the past somewhere here, and then at the moment we are talking about it, it has just come to an end. It has just completed. So the action starts in the past and moves to the present moment, and while we are talking about it, it has just come to an end. Today we will talk the fourth kind of present, or the fourth way to represent the present time. It is the fourth and the last one. It is almost similar to uh, the third kind of present. The action starts in the past and then moves in the present, but the difference is that the moment we are talking about it, it still continues. It has not come to an end yet. The difference between this continuous action and the continuous action we talked about in our second kind of present time is that in that case the action was limited to present, but here, because it is a perfect time, so it started in the past and then it continues And the moment we are talking about it, it has not come to an end yet. So this is the difference. Please note that in case of third kind of present, the action has come to an end. And in this kind of present, the action still continues. So you have to understand that this kind of present, it is linked with the past because it started in the past, but it still continues in the present. Look at these sentences in order to understand what this fourth kind of present is. I have been writing articles on different topics since morning. So we see that this action of writing, it started in the morning, and as this ing part suggests, it still continues. It started in the morning and it still continues. He has been reading the book for 2 hours. Again, the action started in the past 2 hours ago, and this process of reading, this action of reading, it still continues as this ing part suggests. They have been playing football for an hour. This is also that the action started an hour ago in the past and it still continues. He has been studying in the library for 3 hours. Same is the case here. The action of reading, studying the books, it started 3 hours ago and still continues. We have been shopping at this fair for 2 hours. Again, the action started 2 hours ago and still continues. We have been watching a movie in this cineplex for 2 hours. Again, the action started 2 hours ago and still continues. Now look at this. See that the table is arranged in relation to the subject. In column A, we have singular subjects. In column B, we have plural subjects. But again, I is included in the plural subjects. The baby has been crying for half an hour. The baby, because it is a singular subject, it would take has, and after that we would add been or been. You can also pronounce it as been. Then the first form of the verb with ing. Now there is also this part in this kind of present where we talk about time. Time is an essential part of this tense. Even when time is not mentioned in a sentence, it is always supposed that it is there. So we, in relation to time, we use for and since. For and since. We will come to it later that when should we use for and when should we use since. First, just focus on this division that exists between two kinds of subjects and how the construction of the sentence, it depends upon what kind of subject we are using. In column A, all the subjects are singular. So we see that we have used has. We have already discussed that a singular subject always takes has. Then this question of been. Why is it there? If you recall, in my previous lecture, I told you that after has, have, and had, we always use third form of the verb. Now in this case, because the time we are describing, the time is continuous. So as you already know that, and I have described in my third lecture, that in order to express the continuous time, we use first form of the verb plus ing. Now if we are using has or have, we cannot use first form of the verb with ing after it. So in order to handle this anomaly, what would we do? That we would put been after has, which is third form of be, and in this way this condition that there should always be third form of the verb after has, that condition is satisfied. And now after been we can use first form of the verb plus ing. The baby has been crying. So because of the singular subject, we have used has. After it we used been in order to satisfy the condition that there should always be third form of the verb after has, and then we have first form of the verb plus ing that shows that the action is progressive or continuous. And then we have the time part, and I told you that we will discuss it later. So the construction is subject plus has plus been plus first form of the verb plus ing and plus the time part. He has been writing this letter since morning. Again, he, the singular pronoun, has been writing this letter since morning. Mohsen, again the subject is singular name, has been working as an engineer, there should be an as an engineer for 2 years. It has been raining for 2 hours. Again, it the singular subject. She has been watching this match since evening. Has she been studying this book for 2 hours? If now look at this, that this is a question. And how did we form this question? That we put has at the beginning of the sentence, after it the subject, been and studying are at their own place, and then the sentence would continue in the similar fashion, and then there we would put a question mark at the end. He has not been speaking to me for many days. This is a negative sentence, and we have put not after has. Has he been working on this project for 2 years? Again, there is that has is at the beginning, and then the subject and been working. She has not been teaching in this institute for 2 months. Again, has not. We have put not after has. So this column, it belongs to the singular subjects, and the singular subjects take has after them, and then there is been and first form of the verb and ing. Now look at the second column. I have been writing a book for 4 years. They have been staying in this hotel since Monday. You have been avoiding me for many days. They have been talking since noon. We have been traveling for many days. I have not been jogging since morning. Have you been listening to this song for hours? People have been spreading this rumor for many days. Now, if you look at all these sentences, we see that these subjects are plural subjects. I is also included in them. And after the plural subjects, instead of has, we have used have. The rest of the construction is the same. After have, we will also use been, and then writing first form of the verb plus ing, and then the time part. And the same been, what is the logic behind using been? I told you that after has, have, and had, we always use third form of the verb, and been is the third form. And after it, we can use first form plus ing. So in all these sentences, if you look that we have used plural subject, and after it we have used have. In case there is a question, then we have taken have at the beginning of the sentence, and then after it the subject, and then been listening, or the been and plus first form and ing. And if there is a negative sentence, we have put not after have. Now we come to a very important part of this sentence, this tense, and that is the use of time. As I mentioned earlier, the time is an integral part of this tense. Even when it is not mentioned, it's always there. So we use two kinds of time in this tense: since and for. Now you should know that what kind of time takes since and what kind of time takes for. There are two important points here, that time, if it is a point of time. Now there are two concepts that we are using here. One is the point of time and the other is the period of time. What is the point of time? The point of time is if you know exactly when the action of the verb started, the exact point when the action of the verb started in the past and it continues in the present, you will use since. If you do not know when the action of the verb started, but just a period is mentioned, period means that there is a kind of this period of time between point A and point B, and the action might have started anywhere in between them. You do not know the exact point when that action started. So in that case, when you do not know, you just know that there was a period of time, there was a whole duration between point A and point B, and the action of the verb, it might have started anywhere between those 2 points, then you would use for. When we will come to the sentences, you will have a better idea of the difference between the two. Let us first discuss since. Since is the point of time. Point of time means that you know what exact moment or point the action of the verb started. In our case, for example, what kind of time we are talking about in the sentence, if it is mentioned the exact time, like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, this is an exact point of time. When somebody talks that he has been doing this since 10 o'clock, it means that he or she is referring to the time 10 o'clock that has just passed. For example, if that person is talking about 10 o'clock in the evening, then the hearer would understand that that person is talking about 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, if that person is talking about 10 o'clock in the night, say at 12 o'clock, then it would refer to 10 in the night or 10 in the evening. So in this way, 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or 3 o'clock, they are the exact points of time. The times, the time of day, like morning, noon, afternoon, evening, night, these are also points of time. When somebody says that he has been doing this since morning, then we suppose that he is talking about the morning that is today's morning, that is just past. Same is the case with noon or afternoon or evening or night. Days of week are also exact points of time. Like if the action is being done since Monday, then Monday is an exact point of time. You know that when the action started. That, and when a person says that he has been doing this since Monday, Monday means the Monday of this week. Months. Months are also exact points of time, like January or February or March or April or September. When somebody says that he has been doing this since March, then the March would be the March of this year. Even if he does not mention the year, you will understand that it is the March of this year. You know the exact point of time. Then the exact year, for example, 1990, 2019, 2020. If somebody says that he has been doing this since 2019, then it means that you already know the exact point of time. Now compare this with for. When would we use for? For is period of time. For example, there is point A and then there is point B, and there is this period between these 2 points, and you do not know that when this exact time when the action of the verb started. So, for example, in a sentence, if somebody says that he has been doing this for a long time, now a long time is a period. You do not know exactly when the time started. What is the exact point of time? A long time can be, according to that person, a long time can be 10 years or a long time can be 10 months. It depends upon the perception of that person. Similarly, if somebody says that I have been doing it for many hours or many days or many months or many years, these are also not exact time, because you do not know when many hours started or many days started or many months started or many years started. Same is true in case of 10 years or 20 years. If somebody says that he has been doing it for 10 years, then what 10 years? You do not know. For example, if in 2020 you are talking about 10 years, then it means that we should go back 10 years and start counting time from 2010. But if the same sentence is repeated in 2021, then the 10 years would shift to 2011. So we do not know when the 10 years started or 20 years started. So in this way, this is also period of time, and in these cases we will always use for. Now look at these sentences. Now pay attention to the time part. The baby has been crying for half an hour. Now half an hour, it is, as I told you, with a period of time. You do not know exactly when half an hour started. He has been writing this letter since morning. Morning is the exact point of time. Mohsin has been working an engineer for 2 years. Again, for 2 years is a period of time. You do not know when 2 years started. It has been raining for 2 hours. 2 hours is also a period of time. She has been watching this match since evening. Now in this case, evening is a point of time, not a period of time. So we have used since. He has been studying this book for 2 hours. Again, 2 hours, it is a period of time. He has not been speaking to me for many days. Again, many days is a period of time, so we have used for. He has been working on this project for 2 years. 2 years is also a period of time. You do not know when did 2 years start. So for. She has not been teaching in this institute for 2 months. Again, 2 months is a period of time. I have been writing a book for 4 years. 4 years is again a period of time. They have been staying in this hotel since Monday. Since Monday, it is an exact point of time, so therefore we have used since. You have been avoiding me for many days. Again, many days, period. They have been talking since noon. Noon is exact point. We have been traveling for many days, period of time. I have not been jogging since morning. Morning is exact time, point of time. Have you been listening to this song for hours? This is a question. And again, for hours mean period of time. People have been spreading this rumor for many days. Again, period of time. So, by now you must have understood that when the time is exact, the point is mentioned, then you will use since. And when the time is not exact, then you will use for. Now, today, because we are discussing the last kind of present, let us have a brief look through this diagram, the difference between these four kinds of present. This is the time bar, as we divide time into past, present, and future. We are talking about present. Present is indicated here with red color. So, in our first kind of present, we show that an action is repeated over time, over a duration. It moves from point A to point B, comes back, and then this process, like a movement of a pendulum, it is repeated again and again. Then the second kind of present was that in the present time an action continues, it has not yet come to an end. The third kind of present is the action started in the past, as this blue part suggests, and then moves into present, and as we are talking about it here, it has just come to an end. The fourth kind of present is a perfect continuous present, in which the action again started in the past, as the blue color suggests, moves into present, as the red color suggests, and as we are talking about it, it continues. It has not come to an end yet. Now let us have a look at the four kinds of presents that we have studied up till now, you can see that we have a timeline, that is the division of time into past, present, and future. And the first present that we studied, it was a kind of time in which an action is repeated between 2 points, and there is it gives an impression of a routine work, that somebody is doing something repeatedly on a in a given period of time. We used to and we express this in first, that we use first form in it, and if the subject is singular, then we use s or es with the first form, and in negatives and interrogatives we use do and does. The second kind of present is when the action is continuous. We use means at the time we are talking about it, the actual action still continues. We use is am and or in it plus first form of the verb. Then there is the third kind of present, in which the action starts in the past and then moves into the present, but it has just came to an end. We use has, have plus third form of verb in it. Then we have fourth kind of present, in which the action started in the past but moves into the present and still continues, and we use has been or have been plus first form plus ing, and then there is also time mentioned in it, that is since or for. So if you want to remember that what kind of presents we have in English, you should remember this chart.